Time blocking. Time blocking is one of my favorite subjects, especially as a real estate agent and entrepreneur. But today I'm going to share with you some simple steps that you can take to make sure that your time block schedule is one that works for you and not against you. Hi, my name is Mike Ruwad. I'm with eXp Realty, where I've coached and trained thousands of real estate agents all over the globe. And I'm going to share with you some simple things that you can do every single day to make sure that you don't get off track to reach your goals. So first off, we're going to start with your time block schedule versus priority list. Some agents are really good at time blocking their schedule, while other agents like myself run off of more a priority list, if you will. And then you can also kind of merge the two and do a little bit of a hybrid of both. So what I mean by that is a time block schedule is really what it sounds like. If it doesn't go on your calendar, it doesn't exist. And so it's really important to have some type of calendar that you're working off of every single day. For me personally, I use a Google Calendar. I've got color-coded anything from personal activities to kids' activities to doctor's appointments to work events and then Zooms and other appointments. So the color-coded really helps keep me on track. But I also do kind of a hybrid of a priority list, things that I must get done every single day. And if it's something that I have to absolutely get done for that day, it does go on my calendar. Now, one of the little hacks that you can do is actually get some of the most undesired, not the fun activities done first thing in the morning, because that's what that's going to allow you to do is really feel like you've conquered the day almost immediately and you've just gotten started. Because what happens is many of us do, we put off the undesired task throughout the day, and it really mentally bogs us down and we don't even realize it. So be very intentional to make sure that you're getting the most undesired tasks done. Also, you want to schedule in prospecting activities every single day. So it's very important to have an intentional, what we like to call power hour, whether that's 1 hour or two, ideally two, of just pure prospecting. That's where you're going to continue to grow your business and really control the outcome. So in the morning, focus on what we call your HLAs, your high leverage activities, and that's when your brain is in the most creative state before all the fires and everything comes in. And so one of the biggest feedback that I hear from real estate agents, I had every intention of getting these things done, but I didn't finish because this fire happened and this fire happened and this fire happened. And what happens is, as a real estate agent or just an entrepreneur in general, we typically become reactive instead of proactive. So again, that's where letting everybody that surrounds you know what your time block schedule is, know when you have those uninterrupted activities, and then you have times to check your email, to respond to text messages, respond to calls, and of course, put out any fires. Now, the reality is there are sometimes some emergency situations in real estate, but typically they're not. And so we think they are, and a lot of times what I found, if you just take a breather and get your other activities done first, sometimes those so-called emergencies kind of work themselves out. So you're gonna have to definitely learn to say yes, say no to certain things, and make sure that those tasks that you've created on your priority list remain a priority, unless, as I mentioned, it becomes an absolute emergency situation. So in between those prospecting activities, also take a short break. And that's going to allow you to catch up on those emails, texts, calls, to really let your brain kind of get off and then get back on track. Also, setting a timer, especially when it comes to social media. You want to be very intentional when you're on social media. And don't get me wrong, social media is absolutely imperative to grow your real estate business, especially in this day and age. But it's also can be a major distraction. So be very intentional when you're on your social media. Schedule your posts, get on there and do whatever you need to do, whether it's commenting on your sphere, making your friends list, or what have you, but give a very specific amount of time, and that way it's not going to distract you from other things that you need to do. Almost treat it as a race against yourself. Look at your activities list and weed out any low average activities and get rid of them or completely delegate. When you're talking about delegation, one of the things that you can do is really get a piece of paper and do red light, green light. Green light means things that You absolutely don't have to be on your plate, and red light are the activities that you have to personally be involved with. And that's really going to help you kind of decipher what activities that you personally need to do, and then what else that you can delegate. And that's how you're eventually going to buy your time back. The reality is we all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some people just honestly time block and delegate better than others. So every day, it's really important for us as entrepreneurs to try to accomplish something every single day. Now, the reality is some days are going to be bigger wins than others. So you also don't want to have an unreasonable expectation. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, did I accomplish what I was set out to do? And if not, that's okay. Just ask yourself why. And one of the best techniques that you can do is actually grab another piece of paper, draw a vertical line down the middle, and write down the list of activities that you wanted to accomplish, that you started out the day and said, these are the things I'm going to finish today. And then at the end of the day, write down on the same piece of paper on the other side of the line the activities that you did and then didn't do, and try to figure out, where did your schedule go wrong? Where did it go awry? Where did you get distracted? Because a lot of times you could look back and say, well, these type of things were not emergencies. These are things that didn't move the needle forward in my business, nor were they lead generation activities. And these are things that I could have said no to. For example, if a lender or another agent calls you and says, let's go for coffee or let's go for lunch, these are all great things. But the reality is, most of the time, those are not activities that move the needle forward in your business. Now, of course, a third-party vendor or a lender, they want to take you out to lunch, they want to get to know you, they want to build that relationship, and in turn hoping that they may get some business down the line from you. But the reality is, if you don't have business for yourself, then you're not doing them any favors, because you don't have business for them either. So it's really important to focus on your business first. And after doing this time and time again, your brain will naturally gravitate to the items that are necessary to complete. You almost, when looking at time blocking, you have to become the master of the clock. As I mentioned, it's almost like a race against yourself. One of the best ways that I can put this is when my kids were growing up, and I, didn't put them in any kind of daycare, and I almost forced them to take naps every single day to have a certain schedule for them. But also because that was my time to work. And so I knew when that clock started running that I had to get as much done as possible. It was almost a race against myself. And in those 2 hours, I probably got done more than in an 8-hour workday had I not had very intentional time blocked. So be mindful of your time, and then also that of others. You know what you're doing, and you know what you're not doing. There's definitely a huge difference of staying busy and staying productive. Productive meaning focusing on your high leverage activities, focusing on your income producing activities, and really moving the needle forward in our business. Now, especially as a real estate agent, it's easy to stay busy in real estate. But just keep in mind, am I staying busy, or am I actually being productive? So, not saying you have enough time, honestly, that's just BS. Time is a decision. As I mentioned, we all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just haven't learned to master the time. And one of the ways that you can do that is by making replacements in your life. What are things that you can cut out as you're trying to push forward into your business? While you're wasting time, your future is dying. This is reality, and it's one of those harsh things that we have to really look in the mirror and look at. Your competition is also working on getting better. So if you're wasting time and you're just being busy throughout the day, just think about it, that's that much more time that your competition is getting better. So focus on your HLAs, your high leverage activities, your IPAs, your income producing activities, and then think about every single day, is everything that I need to accomplish and set out on my calendar, is my calendar very intentional, and do I have a priority list, that things that absolutely have to get done? If I didn't finish them, where did I get off track on my schedule? Please go ahead and like and subscribe, as we're dropping new content every single week, and go ahead and comment below if you would like one of our free priority reports to help you time block and take control of your time.